So hello, my name is Laura and welcome to Well Balanced Kids Yoga, and this is a session aimed at people with a moderate to severe learning disability. And the idea of this session is that if you're working with somebody with a moderate to severe learning disability, you're there, you work with them, support worker, parent, carer, your friend, you can kind of do this together, either by mirroring each other, so you can show the moves and they can copy you, or you can help them, support them to do the move. So it's lots of touch-based stuff on the face, the arms, the legs, the feet, the hands. So as I say, you can do it mirroring, so you're copying, or you can do these moves on the person you're working with. Always important to remember consent when you're working with someone, so ask if it's okay to touch them, so hopefully you know that person's yes or no, or sign for it, and look for signs that people feel okay with things, that they like the kind of pressure, the touch. And you can also use it to, when we touch different body parts, to use the names of body parts to remind and teach people body part names. And you want to be doing this in a relaxed, safe space, so you both want to be in comfortable clothes. I'm going to do the first part of this around half an hour session of the upper body, so you can be seated opposite each other. You might be one of you lying on the floor, the other one that's giving the yoga next to the person on the floor, whatever works best for you and the person you're working with for their body. So yeah, you know what to do, what works best. You can just try different things out, pause the video and try at any point. And the second part, we're going to be doing legs and feet. So we're going to be laying down on the mat. So you can either be, as I say, sitting opposite each other in comfortable chairs, sitting on the floor, or maybe one of you's lying. So, and I'm going to demonstrate the moves and you can follow them as I go through them. So the first thing we're going to do is take some deep breaths. So wherever you're sitting or lying, or maybe you're standing, you could stand for this, but if you've got that extra energy, we're just going to take our deep breaths. And to do this, you can either put your hand on your chest and your tummy, or you can put it on the person's chest and tummy that you're working with, checking that's okay to put that there. And it also helps as well if people are visually impaired or not as clear with what's going on, if you explain what's going to do. So always, as good practice is when we work with people with a learning disability, just explain what you're going to do. So we're going to start with hands on chest and tummy, and we're just going to notice as we take deep breaths the movement there. So we're going to encourage deep breaths in and out, slowing down into the space, into our little yoga session. One thing you can do, if you know the person you're working with very well, is to hold their hand, to explain the concept of breath, to hold their hand by their own mouth or your mouth and explain the feeling of the breathing coming in and out on the hand. So that's an option to try. Otherwise, wherever your hands are on yourself or them, breathing in and out, nice and still and steady. It helps get yourself relaxed and ready for the session as well. And then we're going to try a little thing in yoga called bee breath. So we all kind of know what noise a bee makes. So this can be quite good to ask the person you're working with, what noise does a bee make? And we know that is a kind of a buzz noise. And how we replicate that is by humming. So what we do, we breathe, you might not be able to hear me too well, but we breathe in, and then as we breathe out, we hum out like this. Breathe in, and do that a couple more times. Do it again, replicating, encouraging the person you're working with to do it. Hold the hand over the mouth again to feel the sensations of the breath. So we do it again. I'm not not sure how that sound is going to sound across the film, but you get the idea. So allow you to continue that. A couple more breaths by yourself, the person you're working with. And bee breaths can create some energy, and if you're really feeling upbeat, what you can do is have little bee wings. So you can be doing this, holding the person's arms or doing it on yourself, so breathing in and so a few little bee breaths there. As I said, they just feel a bit of energy there, and they can feel quite nice sensations around the mouth and the jaw. And we're just going to do a little bit of face touch now. So again, copying or asking consent. So to help touch or massage the face, so start with fingertips just over the face. So we're going to do pitter patter. We're going to do pitter patter fingertips around the cheeks, so you can explain. We're touching the cheeks, the lips. Obviously getting consent if we're touching the lips. We'll just go near the lips, the chin, the nose, gently on the eyes, the forehead. Just keep going round and come down to the neck. Just moving around as feels okay. Just notice if you're doing this on someone, what bits feel okay. Maybe avoid sensitive areas. And then we're going to move our fingertips into a circular massage. This can feel nice on the harder parts of the face, on the bones, on the cheekbones. Just nice circles around the skin, into the jawbone. So sometimes we know that some medication that some people we work with creates some grinding, so that can be quite soothing to massage between the jawbone. And come down the jaw, whatever feels okay. Coming up to the forehead, temples. And then coming up to the head, so we're going to take big wide hands, and if this feels okay, some people that might be extra sensitive, it might be a bit tickly. We're going to circle around the scalp. Like we're washing the hair, or just a nice messy head massage. And a little bit more. And a little shake out, and a little stroke of the hair. Gentle stroke, stroke. Stroking out that long lockdown hair. And then we're going to take some hands and put some hand pressure on our head. So hands together. Again, we're doing this to ourselves or the person opposite us. If you're both working quite at the same level, you could reach and do each other's head. The hands are just gently pushing down. This can feel quite calming and grounding. Pushing on the back of the head. So if the person you're working with is on the floor, just work out the pressure that you're not pulling their head up. So you're just pushing down, pushing pressure onto the head. And then the last little sort of head massage move is the side of the palm, base of the palm to the side of the head, pushing in. Nice, it's going to feel really soothing here, really calming. And releasing the hands and the hair. And let's shake out the arms, so we can do this opposite each other. We can reach and hold the hands of the person we're working with. Whatever feels okay. A gentle little shake up and down. And then let's give ourselves a hug. So we can either be doing opposite. We could hug the person we're working with if that's okay. Or we can encourage the arms to hug themselves. If somebody needs a lot of assistance with moving. And let's let go of that. And we're going to do some hand movements. So again, as ever, we're doing this with someone or we're opening, closing our hands. Little fists. We can come forward to the camera, reaching out. You can come back. And then we're going to do some fingertip stuff. So we're going to just have each finger, fingertip, thumb, fingertip, thumb. So again, encouraging somebody to do this or doing it with them, just touching fingers to thumb. You can name the fingers as you go. That's it. You can make little animal shapes as we do this. And let's make fists again, do some circles with our fists. So we're assisting someone to do this, or we're doing it ourselves. We can wriggle our fists around. It's good flexibility in the fist. And then we're going to move the hands to a little position like this. So again, assisting or doing it ourselves. So the fingertips are pressed together. It makes the fingers nice and strong, the wrists and the arms. And then bring the hands into palms together. Come out, fingers together. Palms together. Fingers together. Palms together. Fingers. So if this is tricky for the person you're working with, just do what you can. Even if it's just holding your hands over them and doing it yourself, just demonstrating, just talking through, just holding the back of their hands as you move positions yourself. Fingers, palms, fingers, palms. And let's hold the fingers, see if we can really push the fingers together here, really strong fingers, like left hand is battling the right. And then push both hands together. Again, pushing really hard. So you can get your elbows out. You feel that in your shoulders, or reach around to explain to the person you're working with their shoulder muscles. Feel this. And gently shake out. And we're going to need a little bit of stuff on our arms, so we can talk through body parts as we do this. So we're going to do some tapping first of all. Start on our shoulders. We'll start gently on our neck, on our shoulders, and our upper arm, our bicep. Reach around to our tricep. It's up to you how much biology you go into. To our forearm, back of our hand, back up our arms. And switching over, let's start at the bottom, back of the hand. Let's get the elbows, don't forget the elbow. And when we've done some tapping there, we're going to do some squeezing so you can feel a nice different sensation. So I'm just coming a bit closer to show you. So starting on the neck, down the shoulder. Maybe you can see if you can do both sides at once. Down the forearm. If you're doing this to someone, it's easy to do it like this. It can help coordination, but might also be a bit tricky if coordination is a problem. Bit of squeezing. And gently shake out. So before we shake, we need to do lovely stroking, which can feel quite nice sensory feeling. Stroking down the arms, give a nice affirmation. Well done, arms. And before we come to the floor to do the legs, we're just going to do a little bit on the tummy. So if you're doing this on someone else, check that it's okay, because it can be an intimate area, so stick to the arms if it isn't okay or doesn't feel appropriate. Just the tummy, the torso around here, and we're just going to do a little bit of that tapping, drumming on the tummy, and then slow it down a little bit, pressing like we did on our head, pressing nicely, feeling our cup of tea from earlier. We might do a little bit of squeezing, give our tummy some love. Again, if you're doing the arms, just do this again, give our arms some love. And then hold a hand on the centre there, on yourself or the person you're working with. A few deep breaths in and out before we come to lie on the floor for the legs and feet. So the second part of this video, after a little tummy or arm touch, we're going to come to our legs. So we'll either be sitting down opposite each other like this, or I'm going to move back a little bit actually, that's it, sitting down opposite each other, or again you'll have the person you're working with lying on the floor. So we're going to start by just doing that tapping on our legs. Nice. It can be really good if people walk a lot and their muscles are tight. You're tapping on the top. Again, you're either leaning over your person, you're doing opposite each other. Just getting consent, coming down the legs. Quite nice to, if you bend the legs or get under the person's legs, to do the calves. You can give that a little wobble either side and come under the hamstrings. I feel like my tapping is out of rhythm. Going backwards and forwards, front and side. Definitely out of rhythm. And then let's do a little bit of pressing. Again, like we did on our head, pushing up and down, nice and slowly. Any tight bits you can press, move your hands around, press the palm of your hands in. If somebody has really tight bits, you could just use your elbow and check that sensation is okay. Push in, give a little bit more pressure, like a pressure point massage, so either elbow or hands on the pressing. And always explaining what you're doing, so we're coming down the leg, down the calves, the side of the legs. Releasing, it's nice to sort of gently release muscles, again tight bits, through whatever person's sitting in a wheelchair all day, or you've got leg splints on. It's going to be really nice. And then a little shake, either a shake out of the leg, so holding a leg at a time, shaking it, copying each other. If you can, go left, right, left, right. Come still again, and we're going to do the squeezing thing on the legs. So with the hands, like we did our arms, up and down the legs. Around the knees, so obviously gentle on the knee bones, maybe gently behind the knees, into those calves, squeezing. If you're going opposite each other, you might not be able to bend this far forward, that's fine. Just go as far as you can, just squeezing. hold any particular points. Feel good. And then if you're sitting or lying down, if this kind of works for the person you're working with, bend one knee and just bring it into the chest. So obviously if you're lying down, it's going to look like this. So bending the knee, bring it into the chest. Sometimes this can be a bit of a wind release, so watch out for that. And you can gently move the leg left, right. So you might be doing this on someone, or copying each other, depending on flexibility in bodies. And then let that leg go, and do the other one. And if you're doing it and the person's laying down, think about putting pressure just below the kneecap. Gently pushing the knee, the leg towards the body, and gently moving it left, right. And then releasing. And again, let's see if we can wobble the legs. If you're working with someone, you have to hold the legs and shake them, that's fine. If you can both wobble legs and arms together, excellent. And we're going to do a little bit of stuff on our toes now. So it's depend on where you're sitting and what you're doing. So first of all, we want to just be moving the toes up and down, up and down. So you're either assisting someone to do that, gently pulling their toes backwards and forward, or you're just demonstrating. You're doing that together. You might have some crunches as you do this. Gently moving up and down. Like, can you get into your toes are waving? Can you move them side to side? Let's try this. Coming into the ankle, really good. And maybe feet that don't move much in a day. Gently wriggling around. And little shakes of feet. And then we're gonna do this to ourselves or to the person's foot that we're working with. We're just gonna hold the toes. Come a bit closer so you can see. We're going to hold the toes and just bend them. So focusing more on the toe than the foot now. Bend the toes backwards and forwards. It's good if you have cold feet because it helps warm them up. And then we're going to take our little fist and rub it into the base of the feet. This might be a bit ticklish. It's harder to tickle yourself, isn't it? Move it up and down the foot. Might use some massage cream at this point. And really nice to focus on this area here, so you can kind of go up and down there. And then we're going to individually just move each toe. So you can name the toes. You can do the, if it's age appropriate, this little piggy to the market. You know, any other toe-based tunes. So going through each toe, backwards and forwards. Bending them out, up and down. Drop back again, and just hold the whole feet. Maybe rub, just stroking the base of the foot. Noticing different sounds that are made when you do that. And can you hold the foot in both hands? Give a little foot cuddle. And then we're going to do the same the other side. So check that you're comfortable, the person you're working with is comfortable. Obviously some feet have different flexibility either side. So we're starting just folding the toes backwards and forwards, getting some circulation into them, getting them moving around. If this is somebody that doesn't like having their toes touched, and you can just do this on hands here, okay? Or again, always back to basic touch, shoulder touch massage, see how it goes. Let's have some time out. And then start through the individual toes. I think I've done a slightly different order, but that's okay. Going through, little toe, big toe, and then the fist moving on the back of the toe. Focus on that arch on the side of the toe there. Nice little pressure point, and be quite sensitive to rub it out. And then just holding the feet together with both hands, a little foot hug. If you're doing this with someone, you might want to put the foot on a cushion. Just obviously, as you're doing yoga, your comfort is key. And then let's do one more thing with our toes. See, can you, or the person, put your fingers between your toes? So you're clasping finger toe. You see how that goes? A little hand toe union there. Do that one side. Try and do it the other. If you can't, just give a little hug with the hand and the toes again. Excuse me. And then let go. Good work, hands and toes. And if you can, a little rock of the legs left, right. We're encouraging the person you're with to do that, either from seated or lying down. And then a final little shake out. Again, assisting or doing it for someone. Come and lay on your back. If the person's there already, then great. If you're copying each other, then come to the back, lay on your back, nice and straight. And bend both knees first of all. Just spend a little time just laying here. Or if you're supporting someone to bend their knees here, maybe have your feet on their hands to keep them grounded. Then if you can, gently roll the knees one side, just let them fall out to the side, whatever feels comfortable, really gentle. Then you might look to the other side of where the knees have fallen. You might look up, whatever feels comfortable with the body you're working with or in. Take a few deep breaths here. And then pick the knees up, come over to the other side, and you might look the opposite side to the knees or move the head to the opposite side to the knees. And then come and lay either whatever's more comfortable, whatever feels more appropriate for who you're working with, either knees bent or feet flat out, just lay nice and straight and flat for a moment. Might have relaxing music on. Might turn the lights down for a moment, so you can pause the video here at this point if you want. And spend more time in relaxation. And then when you're ready to, as I said, you can stay here and pause and get up when you're ready. Come over to one side. If you're able to, come up, sit up again. So if your person is still on the ground or wherever you're sitting, it's either a self hug or you can ask them, may I give you a cuddle? Would you like to give me a cuddle? Whatever feels safe and what's appropriate. yoga has finished. Thank you for joining in. I hope you feel nice and relaxed. And take that relaxation to whatever you need to do next. Thank you.